Hey guys, it's Liz and we're flipping things, and today we're talking about some of the things that have been flipping for me. I had 4 sales today on eBay, which I don't know. I am a newbie. That rarely happens. So it was pretty exciting. So I'm going to tell you about what sold today, and I'm going to tell you what's been selling in the last couple weeks. Not everything, but some of the more interesting stuff, So let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Liz, and I think I said that already in the intro, but it's still Liz. Okay, so let me take a sip of my coffee and tell you a funny story. So, do you remember in Back to the Future when he has that picture of his family, and slowly over time, like the picture is disappearing, like the sister disappears, and like as he messes more things up in the future, like the picture keeps disappearing more. All right, so see this mug. All right, this is a mug that my workplace gave to everyone, I don't know, year and a half ago. It's probably longer than that now, but it being out of work for this long feels like it. They gave us all these mugs, and it had like the logo on it and a slogan. And every time I use it now, it's a little more faded away. And I don't know why, but every time I use it now, I'm quite convinced that when that coffee cup completely fades away, my job is gone. It's been how long I've been furloughed from work, I swear.
Like it described.
Oh, hey, Trevor. Trevor is virtual school today, so he's home. We're already done with that. That was an adventure. So I don't know. Is my job going to be gone when this cup completely disappears? Everything's off of it? I don't know. But I don't know. It's been 8 months. Like, it's a long time. All right, let me grab my notes and let's talk. So, I am up to almost 150 listings on eBay. Obviously, I'm still in my like 200 free listings that you get every month. And I think my limits are like 540 items, which obviously I'm nowhere near. But I've been working really hard because my husband brought me all those DVDs from the basement that were in excellent condition to list that stuff and to really get listing more consistently. So for the last few weeks, I have been listing very consistently. And I think I've gone from around 80 items to almost 150. I was almost there, and then I got a bunch of sales today. Like, I act like that's a problem. Then I got a bunch of sales. Oh, like that's the point. I'm so stupid. Anyways. Okay. The point is to get sales. But when you've got like a number, like in my mind, I keep saying I want to hit 150 and then go to 200. And every time I get close to 150, I get a bunch of sales, and that's great. Keep it up. Keep up the sales. So first I'm going to tell you what sold today. And we're not talking about huge items. Like I see people with like Harry Tornado, and he'll be like, I had $700 in sales in one day on eBay. And I'm like, that's not me. That's not what you're about to see. So if that is what you're here looking for, perhaps you're not going to enjoy this video that much, but this is the reality of starting out on eBay and figuring it out and getting the right items and getting enough items and all of those things. So, should I be moved? I think, okay, yeah, it can fit there. All right, so the first thing I sold was this Timberland t-shirt, and I got this at the Goodwill. It was new with tags, great shirt. I paid $4.99 for it, which is a little more than I like to pay at the Goodwill, but it was new with tags, and it's Timberland, which is a brand I know. Like, my son's obsessed. So I paid $4.99, and I sold this for $12. I was actually going to list it higher, but there was only one other seller that was selling this shirt, and they had like tons of them. You know, it was like one of those like buy one, buy two, get 10% off, buy three, buy five. Like, they clearly had, I don't know how many. A lot. And so I actually undercut them and listed it at $14.99. I got an offer for $12 and I took it. Important thing to note, I always when I'm doing these what sold videos, tell you how many days it took for my items to sell, because I think that's important. It was something where I was confused by it in the beginning because I listed stuff and I was like, wait a second, nothing's selling. I don't think I realized like how long the sell-through rate can be on different categories. So I sold this for $12. I bought it for $4.99 and it took 18 days to sell. I could have held out and probably gotten the full $14.99 that I was asking for, but I took it. Mostly because I was already leaving the house this morning with 3 items. And I'm like, if this guy just pays real quick, I can just take his too, which he did. And so I was able to take 4 packages down all at once. My husband this morning, I had 2 packages overnight. So those were packed up first thing this morning. And he actually grabbed them and he's like, do you want me to drop these at the post office for you on my way to work today? Which was like the sweetest thing and so thoughtful. And I was like, yeah. And then as he's getting ready or getting his coffee, another sale comes through. And I was like, oh, another sale. And I'm like, just leave those and I'll fill this order too and take them off. But it was so nice of him to offer. Like, he didn't have to do that, right? He's got to go work out in the cold. It snowed here today. Like, it didn't accumulate, but it snowed. Please note. Do I look like I'm like a lumberjack? Because I have a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a giant lined flannel on at the moment, trying to stay warm. The heat's on. There's no reason for me to be dressed this way. I don't like winter that much. I don't know. I lived in Vegas for 20 years and I got used to
20
warm.
years?
20 years, Trev. I lived in Vegas for 20 years. I know. I got used to being warm. And so now I don't love the winter. But as my husband says, you can always dress properly for winter and be warm enough. But in the summer, they can't take anything. You can only take so much off. And if it's hot, what are you going to do? This is not the topic of this video. Again, here we go, off rambling. Let's get back. Next, this I actually shared in one of my thrift videos, I think, and it's pickup sticks. I picked this up because it made me feel very nostalgic, and the nostalgia is always a sell for me because I feel like it will make other people nostalgic. I didn't look it up before I picked it up. I was just like, oh, this is vintage for sure. Then I looked it up and I realized like they're still making this exact set today. So it could be today years old, it could be 20. I don't know. So it didn't have the value that I thought it did, which was kind of a bummer. But so I paid $3.49 for these pickup sticks at Goodwill. They sold for $7.49, so $4 profit. And it took 25 days to sell, which is not bad. Obviously, these, when I say profit, I'm not including the eBay listing fees because I just switched to managed payments. So I'm still not totally sure on like what's going to be or how they're taking out. So unfortunately, I am just giving you straight profit, which is cost of goods minus what I sold it for. And in all of these cases, the buyer paid shipping. So I didn't pay shipping. So that's not coming out of the sale price either. Up next, Fantasy Aquarium. I picked this up when I got a whole lot of stuff. It had a Wii, it had all these like Mario games, controllers. I did really well. I like earned my money back from that purchase at a garage sale like in one day. This one took 68 days to sell. So it didn't, this Wii game is not super popular. But I averaged it out. I paid $2 for this item. I sold it for $6.20 and it took 68 days to sell. So I made $4.20. My kids don't know what $4.20 means. So I feel like I'm telling a funny joke.
$4.20.
$4.20. That is the profit I made, you guys. Up next, my last sale today, and like I said, none of these are huge, is this. It is Lincoln, the Bluray. I paid $0 for this. My husband brought it up from the basement. It sold for $4, which was about going price. Like that was the going asking price on this one. $4 profit. And it took 16 days to sell. Again, these DVDs really move quickly for me. Not all of them, but more of them than I would have anticipated. So speaking of DVDs, here's one. This was not from today, but nostalgia. I don't know if you guys remember, but my brother, when we were growing up, was a humongous WWF fan. It is now WWE and my boys are into it, but at the time it's World Wrestling Federation. And like the Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage, like those two superstars, it was like the greatest ever. And so this is WrestleMania 6. It's a DVD and I paid $0. My husband brought it up from the basement. It was in great condition. It sold for $23. I had actually listed it at $29, but I took an offer of $23. I could have held out. I definitely could have held out, but I didn't. $23, and this took 19 days to sell. Awesome. I mean, like, if everything in my store sold in 19 days, that would be so cool. Actually, that would be really cool. That would be cool, but that's not realistic, okay? But speaking of things selling fast, this is a Wii game that was also brought up by my husband. It is Wii Active More Workouts. So it's Wii Active, but it was more workouts. So it was like the addition to the original Wii Active. And I paid $0. My husband brought it up. This was still new in the box. Clearly, it had never been opened. He probably bought it for me, or I bought it for me back in the day and never even opened it. So I paid $0. I listed it for $7, and in 15 minutes, it had sold for $7. That does tell me I probably underpriced it. But I'm a fan of things selling in 15 minutes. That's like the greatest thing ever. I'm just checking if it's disappeared anymore. Just kidding. I'm totally joking. Not totally joking. All right, here's a random one. This was some retail arbitrage I did, and I sourced this item on Brickseek. And you can see it here. It's a non-turning accent door handle. So it's just like in newer homes, it's one of those door handles. It doesn't turn. It's just like decorative, right? Just to match. I got this at Lowe's and it was $2.99. I actually sent the majority. I bought these and sent them into Amazon. But a few of them, the packaging wasn't perfect when I picked it up. I did like in-store pickup. The packaging wasn't perfect, but it was like deep clearance. I couldn't return it. And so I listed them on eBay. So I paid $2.99. I sold it for $9. This one took 96 days to sell. I did get positive feedback, which was super awesome. I'm a fan of that. Up next is a pair of pants that a friend of mine, Heidi, gave to me. They were new with tags. They were gorgeous. Calvin Klein. I am not going to lie. I tried them on. I wanted them to fit me. But these hips don't lie. That's just it right now. They just don't. Nope. I wanted these to fit. My hips said no. I really should have kept that Wii active and been me working out. That's what I should be doing. So, I paid $0 for these because she just gave them to me and they sold for $25 in 8 days. I actually listed them quite a bit higher, but there were no comps at all for this pair of pants. I couldn't find anything. And so I feel like I probably could have waited and gotten a little bit more, but with the holidays coming, like a pair of red pants just seems so perfect. And I figured maybe this person wants it for a holiday party. I don't know. So I took an offer of $25. Up next is a DVD. This is Easy Money with Joe Pesci. I think Rodney Dangerfield, if I remember correctly. And this is another one that my husband gave me. So I paid $0. This is my kind of stuff. Pay $0. It sold for $7 and it took 6 days to sell. And I'm a fan of that. Like, can't beat that. Up next, this is an Xbox 360 Elite that I got from my friend Eric. He had several Xboxes and I've now sold 2 of them. I got this for $20. I gave him $40 for everything I got, which was a ton of stuff. Hundreds of DVDs, 3 Xboxes, controllers, like all kinds of stuff. So I'm just estimating and saying I paid $20 each for 2 Xboxes. That's not accurate, but it's close. So let's say I paid $20. I sold this for $50. It sold in 10 days. And that is easy peasy. The only thing difficult with the Xboxes is they're heavy. So shipping, I mean, the buyer paid the shipping in this case, but like you have to be really careful with the shipping on the Xboxes because they're very heavy, especially the 360s and the original. This one is pretty interesting. This is Young Guns 1 and 2. Another from the lot that my husband brought up. But it was 1 and 2. So I listed them together. And I listed them, I paid $0. I listed them for $12.99 and it sold the same day. I think it was a couple of hours on this one. It wasn't like 15 minutes like the other one, but super fast sale. It sold the same day for asking price. There was no offer, so it sold for $12.99. So $12.99 profit. I'm thrilled. And then the last thing, and this one was one of those, you know me, I go to the thrift stores and sometimes I buy stupid stuff that I shouldn't buy. And that's what I did in this case. This was you can see it, a silver lightning, like silver cleaner. It was still new in the box. I mean, it was still in the original box, but it had been used. There was one plate that actually had like, you could tell like a necklace had been laid on it. Why did I buy this for $2? I have no idea, but I know a couple months in, I looked at it in my storage and I'm like, this thing is never selling. This was one of my dumbest buys. Like this and that clay pottery 1970s pottery wheel, which I will regret that purchase forever unless some YouTuber buys it and wants to make an unboxing video with it. So, silver lightning. I bought it for $2 at the thrift store, mainly because it looked really old, which it was, and it was still in the original box. And I was like, oh, I gotta have it. Oh, there's the Xbox. Yeah. Are you on my eBay? Or are you looking at the pictures?
I'm on pictures,
He's
guys.
looking at the pictures.
And I was showing the Xbox.
All right. So I paid $2. I sold this for $9.99. I can't believe it. I literally couldn't believe it when I got the notification that that thing had sold at asking price. It took 115 days. I thought it was going to take 315 days. Like, I really was like, this was so stupid. And I make a lot of purchases like that where afterwards I'm like, why? Why did you just buy that? But it sold and I was thrilled. And so I wanted to share with you guys that it sold because it was kind of miraculous. So that's what's been selling lately. I do have other stuff. There's like a bunch of other DVDs that have sold. But I mean that we don't need to go through 30 minutes of all the DVDs that have sold, but they are selling. And what I've realized is like, you have to sell a lot of DVDs to make money. That's the fact. They sell quickly, but the value is not there. So you have to be able to source them for very cheap and then have a ton of them listed because you could sell enough DVDs to be bringing in income. Absolutely. But you got to have a lot and you've got to source them for very cheap because there's just not, the resale value is low, right? I did one other thing. I did average out all of these items on my list that sold just to figure out for this period of time what my average sell-through rate was, and it's 31.75 days, which is much faster than it's been in the past. I was really happy with that. Like that to me is a quality sell-through rate. And I'm okay with that. Like if everything averages out to 31 days, that means you're going to have stuff in there that's 0 days and you're going to have stuff in there that's 90 plus days. And it's okay. I'm feeling really good about eBay lately. Like I feel like I'm making progress with eBay. I am not Harry Tornado bringing in $700 a day by any means. But I also don't have the capital to source that much stuff. I'm excited about the liquidation boxes that are coming in. I'm really curious to see if that is stuff that is going to be good items to sell. If not, it's going to be stuff that's going to make good YouTube videos. But I feel like it's making progress. How are you guys doing on eBay? Everyone had told me that like you go to manage payments and like, oh, your store just shuts off and it's terrible. I have not experienced that. For me, my sales have gone up since I officially switched over. My sales have improved. In the last few days, they're definitely up. Is that because I'm on managed payments? Is that because I'm consistently listing a lot more items? Could be both. But I'd love to know how you guys are doing. How are your sales? Are you seeing any like increase with the holidays coming? Because I keep hearing that like people just aren't shopping as much this year for the holidays, which I get. You know, it's 2020. Like, it's crazy. So I hope this was interesting. I hope you're all doing good. Let me know if there's anything you think would be interesting to make a video on, because sometimes I feel like I'm just doing the same videos over and over again, and that's gotta probably get boring. So if there is anything you think of that might be fun to talk about, let me know. I'm happy to make a video. I'm always happy to make a video. And then if my husband's like, why are you making so many videos? I'm gonna be like, well, because my subscribers / friends asked for it. So have an awesome day. Be good to each other. I will see you guys tomorrow, and happy Tuesday.